After a month of waiting, Suns fans are finally going to get to see what Cody Martin can do. The question is, what can they expect from him on both ends of the court? And will Mike Budenholzer actually use him as part of their rotation? It's time for a new Bourguet Breakdown. When the Suns traded for Martin at the trade deadline, no one expected he'd miss this much time with a sports hernia, but he's finally healthy and available to play. At 29 years old, this 6'6" wing is a versatile role player that James Jones has had his eye on since he first scouted him back at Nevada. The Suns didn't have a draft pick that year, and to be frank, his non-guaranteed salary could just be salary cap relief for Phoenix this summer. But when Jones had an opportunity to trade for this player and make him a target, he seized the opportunity to add someone who can help Phoenix's bottom 5 defense.
We've had struggles at the guard position, and when we actually traded Josh Okogie, we lost a perimeter wing, we lost a defender. I think that's something that Cody can provide for us.
Despite being a wing, Martin spends a lot of time defending the point of attack, and he can help a Suns team that struggles there. His ball screen navigation and ability to recover and make plays is something Phoenix sorely lacks, especially as someone who ranks in the 92nd percentile in time spent guarding shot creators. The B-Ball Index placed Martin in the 85th percentile in ball screen navigation, and he refuses to let screens take him out of plays. Martin also ranked in the 75th percentile in off-ball chaser defense, making him one of the few Suns players who's willing and able to stay attached to his man through on-ball and off-ball screens for either blocks or poking the ball away. He prides himself on that point of attack defense.
To be honest with you, I've always felt like I could. I just think that's the competitive side of me, and I just always felt like I could guard anybody.
In Charlotte, Martin took on the toughest defensive assignments, especially late in games. He ranks in the 93rd percentile in matchup difficulty and the 92nd percentile in perimeter ISO defense. He's never fully out of a play, sticking with his man off the dribble and using great timing to size up chase down blocks, even when his opponent gets a step on him. Martin ranks in the 90th percentile in block rate on contests and the 74th percentile in blocks per 75 possessions. He gives the kind of multiple effort defensive plays that the Suns don't have enough of, which is backed up by the fact that a 6'6" wing ranks in the 63rd percentile rim contests per 100 possessions, not to mention the fact that opponents are shooting 6% worse at the rim against Martin. He's no king, but his chase down blocks are eerily reminiscent of another all-time great chase down artist. And listening to Martin, that's no coincidence.
I watch a lot of film, and honestly, I watch a lot of LeBron James film doing that, and I was just like, man, I feel like I can do that, and I just started trying to do it, and I think in AAU and stuff like that, and I kind of just, me and my brother, we kind of just built a niche kind of doing that sometimes, timing-wise, and it's helped us in other aspects of our game. I try to use my length the best I can, and some of it's just a timing thing, and like I said before, just instincts and just trusting my body, so. And I work on those things. I do it in practice, and you gotta, just like you try things on offense when you get in the game, you gotta do it on defense.
A lot of players in this league are billed as guys who can guard 1 through 5, but Cody Martin actually does it. As you can see, Martin has spent most of his season guarding 2 guards, but not far behind, he spent plenty of time on 4s and point guards. Even with wings and 5s, his time was split pretty evenly across the board. Martin's work in the post shows why the B-Ball Index ranks him in the 97th percentile in defensive positional versatility. He's capable of stonewalling larger players there, fronting them long enough to get a deflection, a steal, or a good contest, and he can even hold his own against centers in a pinch. Martin ranked in the 74th percentile in time spent guarding post scorers, as well as the 89th percentile in post defense.
I take a lot of pride. I've always been fascinated with that part of it, and just doing what I can, finding different techniques, learning from other guys, watching other guys, seeing where you can fit in, seeing how you can impact that side of the floor, the defensive end, and just being aggressive on that end. Just like it's a skill set, just like offense, and how guys have different talents and specific talents on the offensive end. Defense is the same way.
Martin has certainly fine-tuned that skill set when it comes to reading passing lanes. He ranks in the 76th percentile in passing lane defense, as well as the 80th percentile in steals per 75 possessions. What's most impressive is how often he picks an opponent's pocket to fuel an inevitable fast break going the other way. Martin ranks in the 71st percentile in pickpocket rating, getting cookies from the likes of Jason Tatum, Anthony Edwards, Tyler Hero, and Tyrese Maxey this season alone. Even in a bench role, that could be useful for a Suns team that ranks 29th in steals, 29th in deflections, and 29th in opponent turnovers.
His ability to impact the game defensively is something we're excited about. Feel like with his size and athleticism can guard multiple positions. just really plays hard, competes at a high level. We'll be excited about adding, that defensive element, and I think there's some things he can do offensively that excite us also.
So what should the Suns be excited about offensively? For starters, this guy hauls ass in transition. Remember, the Suns are one of the most efficient fast break teams in the NBA, ranking second in points per possession in transition. The problem is they're 29th in fast break frequency. If the Suns can actually get stops, Martin is the type of guy who will push the tempo to turn defense into easy offense. According to Cleaning the Glass, Martin actually ranks in the 94th percentile in points added per 100 possessions in transition. In the half court, the highlights might lead you to believe that Cody Martin is a walking bucket. On some of his makes, there's an undeniable shake and bake element to his game.
I got a message for all of them, right? Shake and bake.
What does that do? Did that blow your mind? That just happened.
He's got a great crossover and can get to his turnaround jumper to create separation, which helped him rank in the 80th percentile in self-created openness rating, as well as the 73rd percentile in perimeter ISO frequency. However, as useful as it is to have players who can create their own looks, these beautiful buckets are the exception for Martin, not the rule. Martin is actually a better pull-up jump shooter, making 36% of his pull-up threes compared to just under 32% of his catch-and-shoot threes. But either way, his confidence in the mid-range and from beyond the arc just hasn't matched his actual efficiency. For every pretty make, there are quite a few ugly misses, and that shouldn't be a surprise since Martin is shooting 32% from three this year, right in line with his career average of 32% from deep. It's not just the inefficiency from beyond the arc though. Martin only ranks in the 21st percentile in one-on-one shot-making efficiency, so even though he can create his own shot, it's not a particularly potent one that the Suns will need more of. The hope here is that the Hornets needed him to do that in Charlotte, because shot selection like this won't fly in Phoenix when he's sharing the court with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. Some of these mid-range looks simply won't be necessary on the Suns, especially since Cleaning the Glass placed Martin in the 86th percentile in long mid-range shot frequency, but only the 43rd percentile in accuracy on those shots. One area where the Suns can hopefully tap into Cody Martin's game more is his cutting. In Charlotte, Martin only ranked in the 42nd percentile in cuts per 75 possessions, but when he did cut, he capably found gaps within the defense. Martin ranks in the 76th percentile in points per possession off cuts, and he shot 73% from the floor in those scenarios. With all the attention on Phoenix's other weapons, Martin can put that skill to use more often with his new team, and he can lean into the versatility that he knows is a strength within his own game.
I feel like I've always been categorized as a Swiss Army knife, so I just try to be that, have some versatility.
Will he actually crack the rotation? It'd be somewhat disappointing if Cody Martin started getting a lot of minutes, especially since Mike Budenholzer has had Ryan Dunn at home this entire time. But if Bud is going to continue to err on the side of experience, at least with Cody Martin, they'll be getting some manner of point of attack defense. Thanks for watching this edition of the Bourguet Breakdown. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to PHNX Sports on YouTube, check out our written breakdown of Cody Martin in the description below, and tune in 5 days a week for the PHNX Suns podcast.